Hello, Baker County, and welcome back to the Press Pass, our weekly conversation about what's in the paper, what we're working on, what didn't make it to print, and what Baker County's talking about. I am your host, Elizabeth, here along with Jessica Pervat, our publisher, and Joel Addington, our editor.
Good to be here.
Okay. What is your favorite movie and why?
Well, it depends kind of on my mood, what I want to watch. But a movie that I love kind of anytime because it's a comedy, it's sci-fi, it's got some action, is it's either A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or The Hitchhiker's Guide. It's probably The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I think it is. I have the book, actually. I've never read it.
Okay,
it's
well,
on
yeah,
my TBR.
it's a very entertaining movie. How about you?
I'm a little more romance, although I do like a good sci-fi or a good old war movie, but I like Dirty Dancing. I miss Patrick Swayze. But it's such a neat storyline. I've been up to where it was filmed. That was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I like that whole romance angle. But I also, my next favorite that I've seen a lot lately is Battleship. I like seeing those big old battleships come back and battle the aliens, and yeah, that's a good one.
So summertime in the Poconos, ship blowing stuff
in Hawaii,
up.
It's one extreme to the next. Depends on my mood. It's been a week.
It's well-rounded.
It has been
well-rounded.
Yes, it has. It has. It's been a month. But yeah, it's been a lot of battleship lately.
Oh my God. Well, hey, while we're at it, let's we've got to talk a little trash again.
It's a frequent topic.
Yeah, the County Commission had a dump site hours workshop this past week, and after hearing concerns from residents ahead of the meeting, commissioners reached a general consensus to keep most dump site hours the same for now, while focusing more on enforcement of the rules and clear written policy. So the bigger issues seem to be less about rewriting the rules and more about making sure that they're clear and that they're posted and applied consistently.
Yeah, it seemed to be more about getting more focus to that general county public service when it comes to trash collection and getting everything to the dump sites and then to the dump after that.
Yeah.
But not a lot of changes. They talked a lot, but not a lot's changing.
I mean, there was so much irony in that workshop because with all the online chatter, you expect to see a packed room. I went over there. I hung out in the dark because the power went off that day.
Yeah, this is Monday night.
Yes, it was Monday. Brief little freak storm comes through. Tree falls. Press office lost power. But I hung out for like 2 hours, and power came back on, fortunately. But go over there expecting to just see this packed room, and it was empty. And there was a lot of jokes about trying to squeeze in.
Yeah, Chairman Ronald Mann opened the meeting by saying he was a little disappointed by the turnout. But I will say this: I was watching online, and there was, I think, 40 plus people watching at some point. If those virtual people were actually in the room, it would have been a full house. But,
and trying to make people understand that you can type and comment all you want.
Yeah.
But it counts for nothing.
Yeah, commissioners can't read the comments in real time and respond as they're like talking to each other and talking to the attorney and talking to the county manager.
Yeah. But
they will see them after the fact.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say, I think a lot of people spoke up online and they saw comments and they saw the sort of, the marketplace of ideas on Facebook.
And I think to me, that's one of those I probably could have gone without having gone to because it was 2 hours. I did leave a little early because I needed to go home and cook dinner, but it was supposed to be just like a general workshop.
Yeah, and to get the public's input on these proposed changes.
Right.
They were looking at shifting hours to make them more uniform.
Rules, policy changes.
Yeah, they're trying to get less conflicts by being more clear about the rules, sort of making the rules that are on paper and the rules that are on at the garbage sites match up because apparently they're a little mismatched right now.
Yeah, there was some inconsistencies there. They spent like an hour and 20 minutes. Struggled a little bit to stay on topic. We kept veering off on tangents that kind of more related to budget things. But Mark Woods, who is actually the owner of the company that contracts the employees for the dump sites, he showed up and spoke before the board on a couple occasions in the first part of that meeting specifically about the rules, because that is, I think, his biggest
Oh
problem.
yeah, he sounded very desperate and just at his wit's
Yes.
end, looking for something to change. And I think commissioners were rightly trying to respond to that, and in defense of the public. The commissioners clearly got a lot of feedback from constituents before the meeting that they felt like they had some feedback to go off of to
They did.
consider these decisions with.
Yeah, because I mean, the general consensus, just as far as the hours were concerned, was don't mess with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that was their indecision, with the exception of Kyler, because Kyler's always been that one site that had a different closure day than everybody else, and so now there'll be, and it wasn't an immediate change. I think it's happening in a couple of weeks or so, a couple of months, but Kyler and all of the dump sites are now going to be on the same hourly schedule, but the rules problem, and I mean, I read a column about it this week. If you buy
Yes.
the paper, you'll read it. It is absolutely appalling because obviously I live out here. I haul my trash to the dump site on Mud Lake. It is a very nice gentleman down there, and I mean, in all the years we've lived out there, almost 30 years, and everybody who's ever worked down there has always been polite. I mean,
Yeah.
they're friendly. They'll just stand out there, talk to people, tell you where to put your trash. I mean, helpful. And the fact that these guys, when they try to do their job and just verify, one, that you're from Baker County, because
Right.
Baker County residents are paying taxes that then pay for this service to haul this stuff to the landfill, and we have to pay for the amount of trash hauled to the landfill. So you kind of want to make sure, like a lot of other areas do. I have visited in a lot of places to where you can't go dump trash in their dump if you're not from that area.
Yeah, it
And
can't
you
be a
have to
free
show
ride.
proof. Yeah. And so, I mean, apparently these attendants will ask somebody for a driver's license and they get threatened with bodily injury, which is appalling. I mean,
Mhm.
Totally.
It's craziness.
And I mean, you shouldn't have to deal with that at your workplace for sure,
Mm-mm.
regardless of where it is. But we do have a problem, particularly at a couple dump sites that are next to the county line, of people from
Yes.
outside the county, Duval County, Columbia County, kind of the eastern western sides, coming in and not being so nice as our residents generally are. So.
yeah. Well, and I mean, and it was some residents they had, because they were talking about that, and then commercial trash. There is a lot of commercial trash that's being dumped in these residential dumpsters that technically the problem that causes is these dumpsters are overflowing faster. They fill up faster because you're doing a home remodeling project. And as Public Works Director Chris Lee said, he's been doing some of that stuff. And basically the rule is, if you can get it in a bag, even like the contractor grade big black trash bags, you can go throw it in the dump. But if you can't, if there's boards and piping and all this stuff, technically you're supposed to take it to the landfill, and people don't like to be told that. And so there's a lot of conflicts. People are taking out their frustrations on the attendants, or they're doing what the good old boys like to do and pick up the phone and call somebody, who then overrides the dump attendant apparently and says, you know what, they're already there. Let them do it.
Yeah,
And
apparently
that causes an ongoing problem.
Yeah, apparently the county has not been enforcing the rules. That was my takeaway from the whole 2-hour affair. Was that we just need to enforce the rules as they're written.
Yep.
And as your column says,
The same everywhere.
exercise the golden rule. Do unto others as you'd like done unto you. Understand that we're all trying to get rid of our trash here, and we can do it in a way that makes it easier on everybody.
Yes, and I mean, and in fairness to the commissioners, some of the various tangents that they broke off on that kind of then came up all over again Tuesday night at the meeting.
It was sort of a continuation of the
It
same
was.
meeting.
It was like they didn't talk enough Monday night. Let's discuss it some more Tuesday night. They did discuss how there are obviously a variety of other issues. So like the compactor in Kyler has apparently been broke for a while. That causes problems.
You're right. A lot of the discussion was about investments next year or in
Exactly.
coming years in terms of expanding capacity at the dump sites, because in truth we are growing. There is more trash.
Yep.
It's just not just bad actors. There is more trash. So the commissioners are trying to address the capacity issue by buying more dumpsters, more compactors, which come with a dumpster, obviously.
Right.
And by doing that, they hope to solve the problem. It's sort of a twofold solution. There's the increase in capacity while enforcing the rules. Hopefully, will bring some order to this whole situation.
Hopefully so, because I mean, and like Sarah Little and I think Chris Lee and several of them mentioned, these little dump sites around the county they're small spaces. The county didn't buy big parcels of land, and so they have no room to expand except for the one on Steel Bridge, which actually sits on an old landfill.
Right.
And that's out where animal control is, but they have the dump site out there, and I think they own like 40 acres.
Yeah, and the long-term plan is for county residents who have non-household garbage bag garbage, from your home improvement project or whatever. You can bring it to that site. There'll be one specific local site for non-household kind of trash bag garbage.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have to drive all the way to Rayford. And of course, the county would provide that service by trucking that stuff to the landfill.
Right. And I mean,
but it'd be one site, not 8 sites.
Well, that's it. And I mean, I'm sure some people will get upset that they're going to have to drive a little farther to dump that. But as a whole, it's going to, I think, make the local ones, they're not going to fill up as fast. You're going to have an option. And what I liked about their location was if you live, say, north of 90, then you've got the Steel Bridge site for that stuff. If you live south of 90, just go to the landfill.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not that much farther.
Now, if you go to the landfill, you're going to have to pay. And I think that was something that got briefly mentioned, but there was zero discussion on. If they open that new site out in the north part of the county at Steel Bridge, they're going to have to decide, is the county going to pick up the tab for those larger loads?
Yeah,
of
that will
debris?
create other considerations for sure. Where's the line going to be?
Yeah, they didn't get into the weeds on it.
Yeah, going to play
like everything else.
yeah, this is an ongoing project to say. So that's probably a question we need to address probably in another year or two.
Yes, but ultimately the decision was made. They lined up the hours on the site, but they kept that Wednesday split, which I sat there to make sure that was what I had to say. That was my 2 cents.
You weren't the only one. It seems like a lot of people.
Yeah, there was a couple that showed up. I mean, I was impressed. By the time I left, we had 1, 2, 3 other citizens who had physically joined the meeting.
Yes.
To just put their 2 cents in person. One of them was my aunt, and one of them was my he's not mine, he's a candidate. And then Mr. Norton was there. I mean, just people that care enough to show up and just want to make sure
their day is safe.
That's it. That they get to have a say. And
everybody just has their day that they go, whether it's after church or before church, or when they're going to Jacksonville to do shopping or coming back. Nobody wants to make that extra trip just to go to the dump.
Well, and nobody wants to load garbage with them to their job and let it sit in their car and get hot and gross all day.
That's not cool.
And then have to come home and drop it off because the dump wasn't open early.
Exactly. I mean, it's funny because I laughed back. Gosh, we had a candidate umpteen years ago that was running for county commission, and she ended up winning, but we printed her RAD cards, which are the little handout cards they give out. And we decided as a group effort on the back of it, we put the dump hours. I still have that card with those dump hours. And of course, one of my thoughts was, if they change it, I'm going to have to get a new card. But it's going to still work because I don't use the color dump site.
But you're right. I mean, it's people's routines and habits, and those hours have been there for a long time.
So it's you would have thrown a curveball to a lot of people if they'd have changed.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that was the trashiness of the day.
Yeah, you guys mentioned Mr. Chris Lee, and he's in our next story too. So
Public Works in the house.
Yeah, this is the one that you were saying probably a lot of people are going to be happy about. Or actually, Mr. Lee said that in the meeting. He said, you made about 10,000 people happy because you're talking about paving roads during the
Mhm.
weekly budget talk. So y'all tell me about what happened there.
Yeah, it's just been so long since anybody's heard county commissioners talk about, paving roads again with county money. That's what's special about
Right.
this. They
Mhm.
they get state grants all the time to pave 1, 2, 3 mile sections of major county highways, the
Yeah.
ones that have the 3 digits on them or 2 digits sometimes. But
Yeah.
these are other roads like Miltondale that has pothole issues, or McClenny
Amen.
2 is famous for road
Mhm.
conditions.
Also, amen. Yes.
So there's 8 roads that have been millings were put on them to kind of improve them, but then weather conditions and time eliminated those. So they want to pave those 8 roads. It's only about 1.5 miles in all. It's not a lot.
Yeah, they're not massively long roads, but
but
paving is expensive.
It is,
That's one
it
thing a
is.
lot of people don't understand is the sheer cost in paving, and which too, there's different types of paving. So the discussion was the county invested in a machine a couple of budget cycles ago that would come in. So there were like some of these roads where I don't know how it came about, but it was like they put down millings that packed solid. So it was like borderline concrete, but then it got ruts. And
Mm.
so they bought this machine that basically went in and just like chewed all that up and created a nice milled road. But that stuff, you get ruts in it, you get the potholes. And so I think some of those roads are on the list where they got that machine, they did it, and people were like, we love this. And then 3 months later, they're back on the phone. Hey,
Mhm.
my road is bumpy, super, super bumpy, and I'm,
Right.
replacing tires and your shocks and your undercarriage.
Yeah, and every time you're coming and going, you're out.
Mhm.
But on the bright side, commissioners are talking about putting $1 million next year into those roads.
Shout out to Tyler Mobley for leading the charge on that. I mean,
Mhm.
I think in all my years here, I've never heard a commissioner say, well, if we give you this much more, can you pave it? And like push for it. I was really.
Yeah.
How
he
long
was-
has it been since we've paved a road? Like county has paved a road.
Mm.
Woodlawn, maybe, when they paved Woodlawn.
What?
Gosh, Woodlawn was paved when I was a kid. So
It's been a long time.
That's
they
crazy.
paved Steel Bridge, they paved Oak Harbor.
Claude Harvey.
Yeah, but they
Okay, yeah.
when the first time they did Steel Bridge and Oak Harbor, I was a teenager.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often.
And they did it very cheaply, and they've ended up having to repave them since then. And a lot of
Mhm.
times that's what happened. I mean, I can't tell you the last time they actually paved a dirt road.
Mhm.
And even with this, I guess technically you could say they might be semi-dirt roads.
Well,
but
and the commissioners didn't necessarily want to just stop there at those 8 roads. They're looking to do
Mhm.
more for sure.
I mean, they found a lot of money. They need to spend it.
Right? I know. And I saw on our notes here that Chris Lee said that we maintain hundreds of unpaved roads
Mm-hmm.
and that the last estimate was 400 miles. So we're paying to scrape and maintain all of those roads.
Yeah,
That's
hundreds of
400 miles.
Well,
Mhm.
that was in 2018.
So-
I'm assuming somewhere has
Mhm.
gotten paved since 2018.
No,
Maybe not.
no. Like I said,
We might
they
even have more dirt
Yeah,
roads.
they have not paved a dirt road. What they have like really focused on is just maintaining the roads they did pave,
Mhm.
because like I said, a lot of that work was kind of substandard, and which that was most of it done many years ago. Now Reed Stafford was one that they've paved a portion. I think there's still a portion due to right of way issues
Right.
that they didn't. But I mean, that was probably the last one that they paved,
Cruise
and they
Road was
made.
out of state.
Well, Cruz was a long time.
Yeah,
ago
Reed
as
Stafford.
well.
I think that was probably the last one.
Yeah, that was probably the last one that was dirt that they paved. But yeah,
It's been a nightmare ever since too. So
and it has. I mean, especially with that chunk that's still dirt in the middle, and
That's how they did Cruise Road
It's-
because I lived there until I was 17
Mhm.
and they paved both ends.
yeah, they
And it was
paved
like woohoo!
yeah.
And then they didn't pave the middle. It was
Yeah.
still washboard.
Yeah,
and,
but
yeah.
and Chris Lee did say this. Obviously, any as many miles as you could pave, that's how many miles that you don't have to maintain every year or
As
twice
often
a
or
year.
frequent.
Or
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, essentially your maintenance bill goes down when you spend all that money to pave roads.
Yeah. And I mean,
Right.
and the dirt roads out here, I grew up on a dirt road out in Taylor, lots of dirt roads. I like the dirt roads to a degree.
A
But you-
smooth, well-maintained dirt road is fine.
It's not bad. And I mean, even when they get a little bumpy and everything, the problem is when they're not properly maintained, or, you know, there's so many things. You have to know what you're doing with those dirt roads. And between pulling the ditches and doing this and doing that, and there's so many aspects to it. When you have 400 miles of those and multiple bad storm seasons, I mean, luckily they've been, you know, been blessed in that regard. We've not had last year. We didn't have any really bad ones so far. This year we've been, you know, safe. But it's, you know, those multiple years of bad storm seasons, I think, just caused so much damage that they're probably still, to a degree, trying to play catch up.
There probably is still damage from those storms that it's still getting repaired today.
Yeah,
Sure.
so I mean, but yes, the idea of paving and repairing some of these long problematic roads, that will make a lot of people very happy.
Mhm.
So shout out to the commissioners for doing a little pre-planning.
Yeah.
love it.
And like I said, we're still working on getting a list of those roads, but
Yes.
more to come on that.
And you said they were talking about parks getting budget stuff too?
Yeah, they're also
Mhm.
talking about investing in particularly Jonesville Park, basketball
Mhm.
court, lighting, stuff like that.
And they were
Which is
talking
also
about the
gonna
one in Olusty when they
Yep.
they're trying to get the property ownership changed over.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go to probate court to get title to the Olusty property, but,
Right.
or park, I should say, and then they can start improving that.
Yeah. So I mean,
Nice.
there's definitely they've got some big plans.
That they
So
do. That they do.
hopefully they stick with it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
So, another thing that we covered this week that was pretty fun was a former Baker County School District teacher turned children's book author, read her new book at Storytime at Emily Tabor this past week. And Jessica was there to take pictures. It says it sounded like it was a great turnout.
Mhm.
I had the pleasure of chatting with her and about her story and her background. And, you know, she said above all, her passion is for literacy, and especially in kids, starting them young. So yeah, well, how did the reading go?
That was fun. I mean, of course, the library staff has their little area set up. They got the rug down there, and then of course they had chairs for those of us that don't get up and down off the floor as easily.
Right.
And I mean, and it was a pretty wide range of ages. You know,
That's
from
good.
about this big to this big.
Yeah.
But it was so cute because I get these flashbacks to the days of story time with Miss Peggy McCollum during the summer, and sitting on those rugs and listening to somebody read a story. And so it was kind of neat to see all these little ones come in. And I mean, just in my pictures, especially, you can just see these faces. They were just in awe. I mean, I
They
don't
were
think
locked
they
in.
were blinking. They were just watching.
Yeah.
And I mean, and she was so expressive. You could tell, you know, she's put her heart and soul into writing this book, and she was reading it, and she had the kids doing all the little hand motions and everything. So it was fun. It kind of makes me miss having little ones to take to do fun stuff like that. But you know, one of these years I'll have grandkids. I'll be
That's right.
back.
Hey,
That's right. Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
she did a great job. It was a cute book.
She dropped by yesterday to grab some extra copies of the paper because she was so tickled that she made it on the front page.
Yeah.
And yeah, she just we talked for a good bit about how, you know, literacy is so important to her, and you know, we kind of chatting about how we've seen sort of like more improvements towards more efforts, I would say, towards, you know, reading and stuff. So like the mobile library,
Oh yes.
Quentin Taylor's doing a great
Yes.
job trying to tackle all the corners he can of her
Oh,
reading.
he is. He is determined that, you know, these kids out here are going to like to read.
Yeah, it's paying dividends. The kids are doing better on reading, language arts, writing.
Yeah,
And
the
those younger
test
grades.
scores reflect it. And I mean, and it is very refreshing because, I mean, obviously we're a newspaper. We need these kids
We want
to
them
be
to read.
literate.
Future
I mean,
customers.
that's it. And it's just,
Absolutely.
it is such a cornerstone in your education. And I mean, me personally, I'm the kid that got in trouble in school because I had my algebra book up there, and behind that, I had another book that I was
Yeah.
actually reading. And
Right.
that was what I did because we didn't have the phones and everything. I mean, you had a book, and that was how you got away. You got your mind off of what you were supposed to be doing. That was probably more important
Yes.
and would get you in trouble if you didn't. But I mean, it was, and I credit teachers for instilling that love in me and that interest. And I mean, they're trying. And I think, they're like fighting that going upstream in a river.
I mean, yeah, so the mobile library thing, that's so cool. And then he's got a
Mhm.
YouTube channel that he reads on.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of different things going on. And then Emily Tabor, their summer program is always great.
yeah.
And then I think they do preschool story time throughout the year.
They do.
And
And they've
so-
got an adult book club.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or,
they
you
meet
know,
month
those
they,
Mhm.
they meet every month. I think on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And I mean, and the cool thing is, I've noticed in the last probably 10, 15 years, now that it's so much easier to self-publish a book,
Mhm.
more and more people are doing it. So, I mean, locally, we have a lot of people who have self-published
Oh, yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It's different when you're the one having to foot the whole bill. You didn't send it off and these big houses pick it up. But on the
Mhm.
flip side, especially like these children's books, I mean, I saw another local author, Kaylee Trippett. She
Yeah.
showed up to the library program with her
Shout out
little ones.
Kaylee.
Yes. And
Mhm.
she's written several books. I mean, it's really neat. And then too, to just see these ladies supporting each other.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Mhm.
it's really cool, and that's one of the things I love about this wonderful place we call home.
That's
Baker
right.
County.
Absolutely. And actually, in our last Baker Backroads magazine, I did a whole spread on as
Yeah,
many
you
local
did
authors
several.
that would talk to me.
Uh-huh.
And so there was quite a few that we covered in there. That's a free article on our website. If you want to head out
Yep.
there, check it out.
Yep.
You can read about some other authors that we've covered as well. And then Baker Book Hive, she's selling local authors. She's doing story times. So
Mhm.
glad we have a bookstore in this
Yes,
community. It
yes,
it
yes.
brings me so much joy.
It does. It does.
So, all right. So I just mentioned Backroads, and wouldn't you know it, it's almost
That
time to
time.
do it again.
Tick tock, tick tock.
So
2.5 weeks. Week.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah. I mean, you guys won't see it until October-ish
Of October, yeah.
for the fall winter season,
Yeah.
but
We're rolling into that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at back to school. I
Yes.
swear, I just survived graduation.
right.
I mean, literally just survived graduation.
Yeah, the summer
And
certainly flew by. It's been a super busy
It
summer.
has. I mean,
Mhm.
normally summertime is just like chill, not only
Mhm.
for everybody else, but us as well. And I mean, it seems like this summer has just been bam, bam, bam. But yeah, we've got back to school, and usually that's the way it rolls. We have back to school edition. If it's an election year, as it is this year, we've got election that all kind of rolled together. And then we just we go straight from that to Backroads, and we need ideas. We need
Mhm.
stories. These are
Yeah.
Baker County stories. So
Yeah, local stories, fall themed,
yeah.
anything that's out there in the community that's photo friendly.
Mhm.
Definitely like to lean towards local places and faces. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's exactly
I know
it.
we've got, we keep a running storyboard in the back, and we've got a few up there. We've got some stuff we're going to try to chase
Yeah, if
them
there's
down.
something you're interested
But we're-
in reading more about, chances are
Yeah.
somebody else is too. So let us know.
We're always open for ideas, especially for Backroads, because, we know a lot of people, but you guys know more people as well. So you know different people than we know.
Yeah, because I mean, there's so much history and
Mhm.
a lot. I love to kind of focus on. You get some of these older citizens that have been here forever and their stories, and listening to them talk about how things were done and everything. Being able to get that story in print and get some pictures to go with it, and so yeah, I mean, this is the Baker Backroads. We are looking for those building blocks of Baker County, or those people that are doing extraordinarily cool things.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously it's fall themed, fall Christmassy, but these are just people's stories in general. So, you know, share with us what you want to read about, who you want to read about,
Yeah.
and give us some ideas. It's what we do.
Yeah, like anybody, local person that's gone on to bigger, better things somewhere else, we're also interested in that stuff too.
Yeah, it
Yep.
doesn't have to be people that are still here, but
Yeah, if they
But
got
they
a
have
local
roots here.
connection.
Yeah, some
that's
sort of
it. There's got to
connection.
be a good, solid connection that we can showcase, because we're here to highlight that magazine highlights the good, and it highlights our roots. So
For sure. And then, so yeah, like you were saying, we've got our back to school edition that's coming out next week.
yes,
So
still working on that.
and that is going to be a special insert into the paper, right? Jesse, what's going to be in it?
It is going to have bus routes. It is going to have supply list. It's going to kind of be that section that you stick in a kitchen drawer, because if you need to look at the school calendar, you're going to have all the contact info for all the schools. You're going to have information from each of the principals. And we have a new school this year, the Baker Learning Center. So we'll have all that information in there. We're also going to have the teacher wish list. So our local teachers get a little bitty budget for their classrooms. And so this is kind of a good way, whether you have kids in school or not. Most of these are like Amazon wish lists. So they're going to be the teacher's name, their grade, their school. There's going to be a little QR code, and you can scan that, and it's going to take you to their wish list. And you can support your favorite teacher or teachers if you just want to bless a teacher.
Yeah.
You can scan that QR code, and it's as easily as going to Amazon, picking a few things off their list, and if they've set it up correctly, then it just gets shipped directly to them, whether it's to them at the school or to their house. Yeah. So, I mean, help a teacher out if you don't have kids in school.
Yeah. You don't have to just be a parent, because I know like the burden of school supplies that fall on parents and teachers alike, because teachers are there to kind of fill in that gap when, students show up with no pencils and no backpack and no this or that. And so they're awesome people, and they contribute so much to society. We can all throw a couple bucks back their way, even if we don't have kids, So I think that's why I love putting it in the paper, and that it's not just going home with parents, because anybody can donate,
And
so
they
love that.
have so many different things on there, because some teachers, it's how they decorate their rooms. It's some cool ways to try and give their kids. And I can tell you, their students are their kids for that whole year, and forevermore after that, probably. But they like to create an excellent learning environment and a creative learning environment. So they put a lot of time and effort into decorating and setting it up. And then, if they wanted to do some cool projects or arts and crafts and all, this is all supplies that they typically pay out of pocket. So. Help them out, give them something to tell them good luck this year. They're going to need it.
And it makes you feel good to know that you helped a young person.
Yeah, it's a great way to give back. And we have a handful at least of first year teachers. So they're starting from scratch.
Yeah, there's a lot, and there's a lot that they bounced around from like one school to the next, and one extreme to the next. So. And also, I've noticed some of I think the band, I want to say the football team, a couple of them, they all have like Amazon wish lists. So there is so much that's going to be in this section. And then plus in this section is our election coverage.
Candidate Q&A time.
Yes, so we sat down with the candidates. I've been editing that video, just making sure the sound and all that stuff is good. And kind of re-listening, we recorded these a week and a half ago.
Yeah, we tried to keep them to about a half an hour, 45 minutes. So they're longer videos, long form, but we're going to have more succinct versions of those interviews in the newspaper next week as well.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're not on YouTube, you don't want to go online and watch it, you can read what the candidates have.
Yeah, we'll have a 5-10 minute version for you.
Yes. And,
but you should subscribe to YouTube, please.
Yes, and also, I mean, you can, we'll have it broke down. You've got County Commission District 2, County Commission District 4, and we also sat down with the Florida House candidates, Chase Brandon and Marshall Rawson, both kind of, first timers for a seat that hasn't been open for a few turns.
Yeah, addressing a lot of very important state issues from property taxes to blanket on the other stuff we talked about.
Oh,
but
we
there's a lot
talked
of-
about schools. We talked a little bit about the school choice. I mean, it was a pretty wide variety of things. But
Very interesting.
yeah, and they told us what their favorite coffee order was.
Mm-hmm.
that was our icebreaker question. They got significantly harder after that.
Yeah, for some reason, Jessica didn't want to use my how many holes does a straw have question.
Yeah, I didn't want to confuse anybody.
It sounds like a trick question. Probably.
So, yeah, but yes, definitely, like Liz said, it is another reason to subscribe to YouTube, because when those upload, if you subscribe, you're going to get a little notification that says, hey, guess what? This is up. So you can be one of the first to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So I got a list on your papers of a couple things going on this weekend. If you guys want to share those real fast.
Sure.
All right. Let's see here.
Well, it's back to school time, so we got some giveaways coming up for school clothing and supplies, and that'll be Saturday, July 25th from 9 to 11:30 a.m. at 372 South 6th Street in McClenny.
Good job. Good job.
All right. And then we've got Ninth Hour Coffee and Ladybug Consignment are going to be Christmas in July. Nice.
The weather is perfect for it.
Right. It is definitely July. And Savada's Cupcakery is also celebrating a new location inside the coffee house.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this is going on in those businesses?
Yes, I think it's in the evening actually, but
Okay.
definitely follow their pages. I think they've both shared it on Facebook, the details on that.
And the
So,
weightlifting team is doing a car wash up at the Baker County CrossFit parking lot.
another way to
Um,
support our kids going back to school soon.
Yep,
Yeah.
10 to 2 on Saturday.
And I
you
mean,
benefit
it's-
from that.
Yeah, and it's kind of exciting just to give the band a shout out.
Yeah.
I was out there this morning because they've had their band camp.
All week.
And I mean, Liz is very familiar with it.
Unfortunately, yes.
It is like a two week long hell week,
Mhm.
essentially.
It's more boot camp than band
Yes.
camp. but-
Yes.
I mean, it is.
There is
very-
running involved
Oh yeah,
for
they're
people that
doing-
are not athletic.
They are doing lats. They are doing suicides, because I can tell you, having had a kid do it for a lot of years, they are out there marching in this heat
Yes,
in
thoughts
these
and prayers, guys.
black polyester uniforms.
Oh man, he makes them do it in uniform?
No, they don't have to do
Oh.
band camp. Now we did have
Okay,
to take
okay.
pictures in uniform yesterday, and even just standing
Yeah.
outside to take pictures
Oh,
was
bibs are
brutal.
they're the hottest, most uncomfortable
Yes.
thing.
But this morning they took their practice to the actual football field.
That's cool.
I've never known them to be able to have access for like that. So
Mhm.
that was really cool, because they have some really neat things lined up this year for football season. They are pumped for football season.
Yeah.
They have a pre-game show now. So this is going to be like,
Come early.
I mean, watching it this morning, it's like sitting in the stands in the swamp or at Doak Campbell.
Mhm.
They like march out on the field. They're playing. I'm not going to give it away
Yeah, don't
completely.
describe it too much.
But they also have some new stand tunes to get everybody in on it. So I'm going to by this afternoon to kind of get that stand tune preview and a preview of their show. Their show's going to be really cool. It's a Latin inspired show. It's
Fun.
lots of trombones, lots of brass, lots of drums. It is going to be amazing. So, shout out to them. And then, they're going to be there to support that football team as they hopefully roll their way to the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, if you've made it this far, give us what kind of emoji should they drop in the comments, Jessica? Just a quick and
Ooh.
easy.
A sun.
Drop a
Because it's
sun
hot.
because it's hot. It
It's
is.
hot.
We're almost done with July, but unfortunately, I
That
mean, it's
means
August.
August is next.
Yeah, think about this
Which
though.
is a birthday month, but it's
Yay!
still August.
It's
Oh.
probably gonna get colder, cooler from here on out, though, right?
Yeah,
Maybe.
supposedly El
Maybe.
Nino brings in a good fall. So here's to hoping we
I'll
have a
believe it when I see it.
cooler weather this year.
Having been 9 months pregnant in August, yeah, I don't
Oh,
know before.
right. Yeah. But yeah, so definitely that's it for this week, guys. Drop us a sun in the emoji,
Yes.
not in the emojis, in the comments so we know that you made it this far. And we will see you next week.
See you later.